Hello folks, welcome to Lexi IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty, Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? India and how India should navigate the disruptive world order that we are facing right now. First of all, when I say disruptive world order, I don't need to give specific examples because the live present contemporary scenario is outright visible. Before I begin with this video, I would try to start with this statement. Don't put your eggs in one basket, or do not put all your strategic economic interests in one basket. What do I mean by that? By the end of this video, you will get to know. Now, if you're someone who's interested in knowing more about your national events, local events, geopolitical, international relations, then Lexi IAS Academy is one of the best place for you. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We provide deep insights into this particular topics. Coming back to the topic in hand. The world is right now in a flux. What is that flux? See, just for argumentative sake, let's take two blocks. One block is still in the belief that the world should continue in the hegemonic world order, or it is still in the hands of Second World War. 1945 victors were in such a boost that they felt they're invincible. That invincibility made them continue. By this people, I mean the West and its allies. Yes, 1945, the scenario was different. They are expecting the world to be still how it was post 1945. Then there is other block. Now this section of block feels that no, it is time to break that 1945 world order because we are no longer in 1945. We are in 2025. And now the world is more towards multipolarity. The world is more towards more powers coming into picture rather than one power being in place. Now it might seem like yes, compared to unipolarity, multipolarity is better. Now this section that I'm mentioning about the multipolarity, it is your China and its allies. So it is almost like the two blocks are USA and China. What people are questioning about this multipolarity is this multipolarity a really multipolarity, or it is a disguise of what your US was trying to do from 1945 to 2025? So your China is not trying to dispose of the hegemonic world order. It just wants to replace USA. Understanding? Amidst this, how is India supposed to be act so as to protect its strategic interest, autonomy, as well as balance its foreign policy? That is what is the video that we are discussing. Now, if you see in the present times, its allies, a rise of China factor is there, and also there are your USA's, especially under Trump. It has become more transactional, interest driven rather than your let's say balance of power. Here it is not about balance of power also, it is just trying to overthrow the power. See, first and foremost, if we try to speak about concept of multiplex or multipolarity world order, according to Amitav Acharya, they are telling yes, it is supposed to bring an inclusive pluralistic form, but in paper only. In real life, that is not what is happening, is because the multipolarity which is trying to be championed by China is in no way trying to create multipolarity, but more of authoritarianism, uncertainty, try to block out to balance of USA to replace USA. This is the uncertainty in the so-called multipolarities that is flagged around. What are the drivers of the present disruption that we are in? First and foremost, the disruption or the hang of 1945 got a jolt, that is a break, a snap. You know the Thanos finger snap? Yes, that snap happened to us in the world in the form of your 2008 financial crisis, which exposed your West. When your Western vulnerabilities were exposed, and also the associated risks with just relying on your West also got exposed. And 2013, with the coming of Chinese President Xi Jinping, China's assertiveness increased. It started challenging US hegemony. Then came 2016, the Trumpism or Trump era. First was your Trump era of 2016, later Joe Biden came. See, we cannot just tell that yes, Trump was the only one who is only protectionist tendency. We have seen that even in your Joe Biden era also. Understanding? Come more of your US policies were dominated by self-serving interests rather than global order. And Trump, it is yes, it is more of a transactional diplomacy. He withdrew from all of your multilateral organizations, UNESCO. If it doesn't suit him, even sanctions on threatening to put sanctions on NATO, its own allies. See, the concept or this line of it's difficult to be US's enemy, it's more difficult to be US's friend became very evident in your Trump era. And this transactional diplomacy, coupled with trying to benefit the personal profit venturing, further added to this. The so called liberal world order, once what was considered as a solution, or what was your USA's big weight, or that's what it called itself as the big brother syndrome, completely broke down. Completely broke down, as in its authority is now being challenged. Now, with this, when we see the present scenario, there are two fragmented blocks, one with your USA and one with your China. Alongside this, there is a rise of your minilaterals. Minilaterals meaning your small group of nations who come together to achieve a specific target. It's just like you bring in a large amount of crowd, you do not achieve anything significant. It is always hurdled by roadblocks. One example is in local geopolitical, it is our SARC. SARC is not functioning well. Constantly, why? Because of your India and Pakistan ka issues. But that doesn't mean the other member countries should suffer and India's engagement with other countries should suffer. So we found BIMSTEC, we found BBIN, we found MTS, right? So we found these minilaterals to reflect the realities of 21st century. You see, India's objective is clear. It wants strategic autonomy. It at any point of time do not want to be sucked in a place where it has to pick between USA and China, and it wants to create a multi alignment. Now, for this to happen, there are many obstacles. One such is its strained regional ties, be that with respect to China or with respect to Pakistan. Pakistan is nothing but a geostrategic headache it is creating, and also constant threat of your multilateral speaking more of a negotiation chip over trying to help. Understanding? And also in recent times, you can see how anti-India sentiments are rising high in your Nepal and Bangladesh. Right? So first, what India has to do if it has to balance its strategic autonomy as well as its foreign policy is it has to truly look into its neighborhood first policy, and it has to take definitive stand in its Indo-Pacific role with respect to be it its participation in Quad or I2U2, and also your India, France, UAE trilaterals, or focus on your Indian Ocean littoral states, right? And see, in this Indian Pacific region, that is Indo-Pacific region, PEM, strong people who are coming, the third people who are coming in as the non-regional powers are your UK, Australia, France, right? So these people are trying to play more of a definitive role, and India should be on a more of definitive role. It should be clear in its Indo-Pacific strategy. Before we move further as to what can India do, if you're someone who is looking forward for UPSC civil service preparation, look no further. You found the perfect spot with Lexi IAS Academy. Why? We maintain our batch size at strictly 40 member per limit. How does it help? So as to provide you individualized and personalized guiding. We also offer one-on-one mentorship, easy access to educators, daily mains answer writing challenge, prelims mock test series, interview mock test panels. We conduct extensive CSAT and also holistic current affairs classes. We conduct our sessions in both online as well as offline mode. For those of you who are working professionals and students, we also offer weekend courses. For more information, you can contact the number given below or check out Lexi IAS Academy website. If you see about the global south as to what other ways India can do in order to navigate this disruptive world order is first give importance to your BRICS, SEO, ASEAN. See the importance, because post your Trump and his tariff policy, where everything he deals is with tariffs, sanctions, BRICS emerged as a strong player. So you utilize the importance of BRICS. You make good engagement with your SEO and ASEAN members, and also you counter the Chinese dominance in BRICS through like-minded let's say countries like your Brazil and India uniting together, just to make sure China doesn't follow its assertive policy in your BRICS also. And also, yes, if we are going to call for multipolarity or Vishwa Bandhu, then we have to do that by taking definitive stance. And at the same point of time, post your Ukraine conflict, it has become clear that we cannot rely on just the West. And especially the president may change, but their innate nature has not been very much changing. Your Trump is a Republican, Biden is a Democratic, but both of them say we saw that more of protectionist tendency. So another thing about your alliances doesn't mean that now we have to enter into a full-on mode alliance with everyone. No, overcommitment should not drain us. First thing. Second thing is we have to set a clear difference as to what do we need from this particular alliance, and that alliance has to not be just a multilateral full pitch-in, but rather a more effective efficient minilaterals. And second thing is you have to differentiate between your US and China, indicating that India, if it wants to maintain strategic autonomy, it has to put on the balancing act, and avoiding over dependence on West must be the key thing. So, what is the strategic toolkit for India? Multi alignment, economic self resilience, credible defense deterrence, neighborhood stability, and norm shaping. What is the criticism that India faces because of this? First thing is they claim that your strategic autonomy concept that you're telling, when there are two clear opposing blocks, USA and China, the concept of strategic autonomy is becoming more of irrelevant. Mistrust also that we have seen with respect to aligning just with any one of this, US or China. So what can India do going ahead? It has to preserve its autonomy. How? In order to not excessively rely on any one partner, strengthen its foundations, as in strengthen its economy, strengthen its defense deterrence, and also expand the cooperation, that is increase the South-South cooperation, become the true voice of your global South, and also reform the global institutions. Again, here is where we spoke about your multilateral and minilateral institutions, and also have a balanced approach. So this could be the best course for India in order to deal with this disruptive world order. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.